There are
I
two
would suspect
choices.
it might be worthwhile. Well, actually, three. There are three choices.
As to
So
whether or
just
not government spending is a good thing.
well, one is uh, there is the no. If you have a million people unemployed, how does one go about dealing with that?
Hmm.
What we've had, and I will use an example. Dealing with unemployment. Yeah. I think a general term could be unemployment.
Yeah.
Some people care about it, other people don't care.
So you
That,
said, what if there is 1 million people unemployed? That means 1 in 38 individuals, which is a lot lower than our unemployment rate. We would have about 1.5 million unemployed people. And that is people under 65.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's more like 2 million when you. Because it's
Well,
1 in
that would be
18.
who would be the what would be the overall workforce? It's what you're looking at. Okay,
Hmm.
people under 18 are not considered to be workers, right?
And those over 65. Yeah.
So it then comes down to how many of the 30 whatever million we have fall within the range between 18 and 65. How many of them are seeking employment? And how many can't find it?
Hmm.
How many are employed?
Those who can't find correct employment, like that one girl who had 2 physics PhDs, but she was working at an alcohol brewery. But she was a physics major. There are a lot of people who are not only unemployed but underemployed given their qualifications. We have
Except,
civil
yeah.
we have civil engineers in this country like you wouldn't believe, but we don't put them to work. They work at the bakery.
Do we bring in people from India for that?
That's right.
Who brings them in?
The government.
To work for the government?
To be contracted out in labor pools to be commissioned by Canadian companies theoretically, but yeah, the government operates labor forces with impunity.
So this is the to whose benefit does this work?
Well, given that the labor pool of the federal government is generally pretty empty, it's working quite well. We create new roads faster than we've ever created them, new medical breakthroughs, new agriculture techniques. we get a lot of advantages bringing over millions of Indian people, but yeah, we really wish they would take Canadian jobs so that Canadians can do something better. Isn't that the dream? Have some Guatemalan picking your carrots and cabbage?
Well, Canadians by and large don't want to pick, do they?
No. Canadians don't want anything to do with farms.
Don't want anything
to do with farming.
Yeah. Except owning property in King Township where they can put up a white fences, white wooden fences. You know what white wooden fences mean?
Picket fences? Yes.
No.
No.
Picket fences.
No, white fences made of wood, right?
Yes.
Okay, they're picket fences.
No, they're not.
Well, any fence with a point on the top and a flat on the bottom that gets drilled in, that's a picket fence. A white picket fence.
What do you call a fence with a long board, two long boards, and a cross? You've never been to King Township?
No.
If a piece of land has that around it, what are they raising?
Cattle, horses.
Which of the two?
Probably horse.
That's right. And your house is a nice house. Well, actually, much better than nice. Yeah. So you can say, I live, we go to the farm on weekends. Yes. So who has jobs like that? I think it's not a job. Now, is job a description for anybody doing anything?
Housework and raising the kids is not considered a job in most industrialized countries, but we're slowly coming around to that idea. If you wanted to be politically correct, you would say all work is work, and you should be paid based off of your productivity. But at the same time, you're not really contributing anything to the overall economy, merely your own persons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know the real GDP of the United States is over 40 trillion in exchanges every year? But the GDP, quote unquote, is only like 15.5 to 16.5 trillion. So there's 25 trillion that is worked by a homemaker or by somebody cutting down some logs on their own time. The average American works over 100 hours a week, but they only work 50 hours at their job, and they put in 40 to 50 hours a week additionally in their own homestead, producing. If we wanted, we could pay people based off of them taking care or raising kids, or based off of them spending their home time. Yeah, I don't know a good definition on what work is and what work contributes to an economy.
I guess it's what you get paid for.
I guess. But then again, you get paid for something, and you get paid in cash, and then you pay all of your other friends in cash, and they pay you in cash, and the government gets none of it. So
we're in the process, some people say, of having a cashless society.
yeah.
And I forget which it is, whether it's McDonald's or something like that, that is accepting bitcoins now.
Ooh.
I don't really understand this Bitcoin thing, except the value of shares or something goes horrendously high and then goes down. So I don't know. But it's...
Okay, so there are a limited number of coins produced. Let's say 100. Okay, and you have one coin and I have one coin. When I transfer a coin to you, you get 101 and I get 99. But there's an infinitely small fraction that gets cut off of that, as well as new money, which is limited, that enters the pool for our transaction that is just completed. We send the data to another computer that processes it using very long, complicated algorithms with big numbers. And then they get paid that fraction of what we traded for keeping the ledger up to date. And we call the ledger the blockchain, because it's a chain of computers who have affirmed that that decision is correct. So it's an uneditable, permanent, and public ledger.
That makes the banks $35 billion.
Oh, this is Bitcoin.
Bitcoins.
Yeah.
Well, big companies, people who are hiring people, prefer to have unemployment.
Yeah.
Because they can keep their wages low or lower, and their existing workers can't demand as much improvement in their wages. That's one of the things. The thing is, the people who are not working, there's, I guess a number of different ways. Number one, you would be one example, right?
Okay.
You are on disability, is that correct? You said the other night?
Yeah.
So you don't produce anything.
Yeah, but theoretically, I produce a lot without actually... Yeah. Well, go on. I produce nothing.
Well, within the overall, so this would just be, I use that just as an example. So people who are on disability, it's said somewhere in the Bible, okay? So people say the poor are always with us, okay? So poor, in the sense of economically poor, would be those who can't work, those who would like to work but can't find work, and those who would prefer not to and still would like to have an income.
Yeah.
So there are those who are cared for or are supported by virtue of their disability. It's like my wife has special parking places, right?
Right.
Theoretically, anybody that parks in that spot could get a $300 fine. So that's a group. So that comes from the general reduction. For people who are otherwise not producing, some people would argue that you have a basic income for everybody.
Yes, I was just going to bring that up.
And then there is a third one, which is that you will provide employment for everybody. So there's those who can't work, those who are paid whether they wish to work or not, and then those who are paid to work. I've never heard, I've always been one who's believed on a basic income, a basic income, eh?
I also support that. Our beloved leader Richard Nixon supported a guaranteed minimum income of up to $230,000 adjusted for inflation.
So a person who is not working then, who is on this fixed income, if they obtain a job, does the whole of the income stop?
In today's system, yes.
The way that I've seen it,
or dollar for dollar,
is that a person becomes employed, starts an income, then a proportion of the fixed income would decrease. And if the person then gets into a full-time job and increases in the nature of the job, it would at some point disappear. And they might even become taxpayers. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I've always seen that as being a positive, not just providing the basic income, but having it not an either or working or basic income, but reducing as you increase your income. But then the argument has become, we need things that could be done within the society. So everybody should be able to find something to do, and they should be provided with something to do. There are those, however, who don't want to do anything, right?
Right.
So what do we do with them? That's the
Hmm.
thing.
Well, this just comes back to the Juche idea, I think, and I don't mention the Juche idea enough. in North Korea, everyone has a natural duty, and their duty is to work as hard as they can because everyone else is working as hard as they can. The phrase giving priority to ideological work comes up often because in order for one to in order for one to reap the benefit of the social system, one has to work. Uh-oh.
I've got to go and turn the fan off.
Okay. Underpass. Snow.
So the expectation is then that everybody will work.
The expectation of any society is those who don't work starve.
No.
Yeah, that is the expectation. Being born into a country, you are to serve that country to the best of your ability.
If you don't, people look down on you.
Yeah.
But the argument would, like, I don't think here in Canada, if you don't work, you're expected to starve.
Well, no one starves in Canada. No one starves in the first world countries. You're just expected to live on less.
Yeah.
If you don't work, you have less to do, less resources to deal with. Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, see, but the idea that one of the, like the new idea for me to visualize is saying to somebody, now what can you do? Because we have a whole variety of different jobs here. And the ideal would be, I guess, is if you are not disabled mentally or physically, then you should work. Otherwise than that, you starve. You do starve, right?
Well, even if you're physically and mentally disabled, there's plenty of work for you to do on the internet. One of the number one things I like to do on the internet is go to a website called kiva.org, and that allows you to invest money in poor African people. But investing is only one half of the journey. You meet these people, and they'll give you a list of things that they need to figure out, and you just say, oh, well, here's how you'd accomplish this, and here's how you'd accomplish this, and this is how you do drip agriculture, and this is how you properly infuse your fertilizers for dripping, and this is, you know, the additives you use, and, you know, oh, I wouldn't buy it there, you got a post office. Absolutely, let's buy it off the international market. Like going there and helping poor African people. If their standard of living gets raised enough to come onto the internet, then they're another brain on the internet, which means we have more processing power to figure out large problems. And if their standard of living gets raised enough that they can afford the goods of Canadians, then Canadians are only better off because of it.
I guess telephones are much more common in most countries than they were before.
That's right. That's why we need to... Helping the person who has $100 a day is an idiotic goal. Helping a person who has $10 a day is very profitable. Because on that $10 a day, if they go to $100 a day, the average is 7%, so they'd owe you $7 a day. Or $7 a month. My God. And that is a very good return.
Who's a return to?
To whoever wants to invest $100 in one poor African person. Or a number of them. There's the people making $1, $10, $100, and $1,000 in a month. Those who make $1, you can't actually give them enough resources for them to make $100. But those making $10 a day, you can actually give them enough resources to make $100 a day, and you'll make like $7 or $8 a month off getting that person to $100 in income. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. What see, this keeps troubling me, and I will just take it for granted. Anything that I say, I probably said before. But I'm not going to apologize for saying the same thing twice. Okay?
Right.
We spend $20 billion. We get $20 billion from the Chinese. They get $64 billion from us.
Yeah.
I had a fellow put a letter into the editor, or a letter to me today, about the city that I grew up in. I matured in, I guess, partially. There are no more jobs there, because the firms have closed.
Yeah.
The number of jobs that have gone to China, Mexico, on and on and on.
Mexico. Build that wall.
Well, that's for people. But here again in the NATO, NORAD, not NATO.
NORAD, North American.
NATO, NORAD, and what is the agreement?
Bretton Woods? No.
That starts with an N. The trade deal between us.
NAFTA.
NAFTA. Too many N's. Many, like the greater proportion of Mexicans, worked and lived on farms that they made their own food, right?
Right.
They don't anymore because big companies that raise corn came in. And American corn made on these big things came in. So the capability of people living off of their own thing just got shot down. Like, it hasn't helped them. So then where do the people go? They go to the city, right?
Right. But there's no work in the city because everyone's coming in.
Well, they have something called favelas.
Yes.
I lived in Blind River, and there were different parts of Blind River. Some you could have taken the place and moved it down south, but others, the conditions were not the same. And it was the English-speaking people, by and large, who lived in the better housing areas. They were in the Masonic Lodge, and whatever. Oh, it's going to be nice. I'm not going to have to worry about any of this stuff sometime.
Wow. What does sometime mean? What does worry about all this?
No, I'm just being silly here.
Okay.
Hmm?
I said okay. That being silly is good.
Yeah. It's, this society that we live in, we worry about everything, don't we?
Yeah.
But we're, on average, better off than anybody's ever been.
That's right, but the rest of the world is far worse off than anyone thinks it is. There are 2.5 billion people on the planet without access to running water. There's 3 billion people without access to electricity. And there's 4.5 billion people without access to the internet.
How many of them would have phones?
Oh, no, that's 4.5 billion people who don't have phones. That's what I'm saying. There are 4.5 billion people on this planet who have open sewers, who shit on the beach, who defecate where they eat, essentially. Garbage piled up everywhere. That's a very common sight. The UK, Europe, Canada, the USA, Australia, Japan, both Koreas. North Korea is incredible. They're in the top 15% of living standards. When you look around the world, and even in small Chinese villages in China, poverty is endemic. People literally live on less than $1 a day.
Would there have been are the areas where, like the Chinese, for example, okay, there is a Chinese wealthy class now, but there's apparently a middle class that's growing. And the same with India. So I would think.
Sure, they're switching to a domestic consumption model and a service economy. Yeah, their middle class is growing.
Now, is it on providing things for their people?
Yeah.
The 64 billion that we purchase from China, some of which are pears, which are in supermarkets now, right?
Asian pears, yeah.
Clothing, toys,
medicine.
and on and on and on.
Yep.
Because we don't produce things the same as we used to. I'm just going all over the place here.
Mm-hmm. So, tomorrow, do you want to help me make some phone calls and decipher this Infrastructure Canada website?
Do I want to make phone calls?
Well, you might have to. Do you?
Hmm?
Do you want to make phone calls?
No, not really.
Not really. Well, this is sort of the only way to advance the party, because I don't think you have another option for funding.
I don't know.
If my project gets funded, I'll have a list of things so long for the party to do, and I'll give the party money to do it. So, what is my goal is yours, fine sir.
Do you know that we're limited to how much money one can give to a political party?
20,000?
No.
How much?
I'm not even sure, but I think it's 50. The maximum is 1,500. And a business can't give anything.
Yeah, see, we can work around that because you will just write down everything that the party purchases and invoice it to me, and then I'll pay you as if you're just a contractor doing political work for me. It'll be fine.
Well, I don't know. Do you get on your email, are you connected in with things that send you donate money to us to keep us going?
Nope.
See, I do. I have a whole bunch of well, they're like informational things.
Yeah.
They're not mainstream media, but they are media of one kind or another on the internet.
Yeah. I tried to tell Brian that asking people for money probably wouldn't work because people on the internet aren't going to give money to someone asking it from them. Because I scroll down the man's Twitter and every second comment is them begging for money. And, like, I wouldn't follow that Twitter page. And then on the Facebook, it's something like every fifth post is, hey, please donate. And I told Brian that if you completely eliminated asking people for donations on the internet, your Facebook page will grow and you get more donations. It works a little bit differently on the internet.
The most important thing somehow is that the people feel that they are participating in something that's of consequence to them.
Yeah.
So it's, it's like the, what is it? There's one political party, let's say the Save the Animal group. They get donations that assist them in their work in saving animals because people believe in saving animals.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, so you got to find what turns people on. Anyway. wife bought something that's supposed to clean up. I know that you are meticulous in that your keyboards would be, if you shook it, you would not have stuff falling out of it.
Oh my god, mine has everything falling out of it.
Anyway, so one of the big things then is, what do we do? What do we do? What does the government do? See, the businesses would be cut back on the government spending, and that's going to save the world, right?
Austerity is a stupid idea.
Well, it is.
Yeah, if the government money supply is the only thing keeping the system running.
But this is where if the government put the stuff out to have things done, then that would be a positive. Anyway, I saw a movie one time. I don't think I saw it twice. When this fellow came to a town, and he booked into a hotel and paid the guy for his overnight stay. Okay, and the guy who ran the hotel took the money and paid something that he owed to somebody. And it went through a whole bunch of different people. And then it came back somehow or other to the hotel. In any case, the guy asked for his money because he wasn't going to stay the night anyway, and the guy gave it to him, right? But because that money that he had sent, that's put in the hotel owner's hands, went through half a dozen different people, it did a whole bunch of things positively.
Ah yes, global capitalism. I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got in contact with Navdeep Bain's office last week, as well as 3 or 4 other members of parliament, but we need more.
So what did Mr. Bain, or whatever his name is, say?
Fantastic idea. Here's where you go to submit your document. And I submitted it. Yeah, it wasn't him. It was his executive assistant who said that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think Navdeep and I have had any meaningful conversations other than, "Hi, how are you? I exist. I'm the Northover Foundation. Thank you. Have a good day." Yeah, that was about our only interaction.
Yeah. Well, I've got to check here. It is 23 000004. That's what time it is. Have we accomplished anything otherwise than chatting back and forth?
Well, funny you should mention that, because this live stream here on YouTube is going to accomplish a lot if we do this an hour every day. But other than that, no.
Well, it clarifies thoughts in the process and expands them.
If you want to get anything pertinent done with me, I wake up at like 6 a.m., 5:30, and then I'm on the phones at 8:30.
Yeah. Well, I think I will get out now, and I'm going to go to bed and try and sleep. Yesterday, I stayed up. I tried to go to sleep, and I couldn't sleep very well. And I set the alarm clock for 8:30. I would have preferred 9. And guess what time I was waking up to get a cup of coffee?
6.
7, a couple of minutes after 7. Yes. But anyway, so I got the Daily Digest almost out. I have 4 to send out.
Good.
Which I can't do until a few minutes after 12. And because it's difficult to do the Daily Digest when I'm watching NCIS, you see. It's so nice, though, that the commercials are so long. But they do get boring sometimes after you hear them for again and again and again.
Yeah.
But some that I like, but others I can't stand. This one guy has a lower English type voice. I can't stand the SOB. But then there's one where anyway, we'll leave that alone. So shall we get together again, or at least see where we are tomorrow?
We should get together every day at 11 p.m. from now on. Yes. But if you want to get any real work done, I suggest you get up for 8 or 9 in the morning when I'm making phone calls.
Well, we shall see.
You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
I had a Ukrainian origin fellow. He was not Ukrainian, like born in Ukraine, but he said one hand washes the other.
Yeah.
That was his example. It was his expression of the same thing. But how many backs are the Americans washing?
A lot. And another thing about your